Hey Falcons fans, we've got some behind-the-scenes news just for you. But before we dive into today's breaking news, do me a favor, hit that like button so you never miss the latest updates on the Atlanta Falcons. Trust us, you're going to want to stay tuned as we head into the 2025 NFL season. Let's go! Big news out of Atlanta. The Falcons have officially hired Jeff Ulbrich as their new defensive coordinator for the 2025 season. If you've been following the coaching carousel, that name might sound familiar, and for good reason. Ulbrich has deep ties to the Falcons, having served as the team's linebackers coach from 2015 to 2020. He even took over as interim defensive coordinator in 2020 under then-interim head coach Raheem Morris, who is now entering his second year leading the organization. But this isn't just about a professional reunion. Morris and Ulbrich share a strong personal connection. They've worked together in the past, shaping each other's defensive philosophies through off-season studies and in-game experiences. One of the key takeaways? The importance of length on defense. Whether it's eliminating blocks or improving tackling efficiency, Ulbrich's approach to defensive body types could be just what the Falcons need to elevate their performance. Let's talk about Ulbrich's credentials. As a player, he spent 10 seasons in the NFL as a linebacker, so he knows what it takes to succeed on the field. As a coach, he most recently served as the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. While the Jets have struggled, Ulbrich's defense has ranked third in yards allowed for 3 straight seasons, showcasing his ability to maximize talent and create a stingy unit. Now, Ulbrich enters a Falcons defense that has plenty of room for improvement. Last season, Atlanta ranked 23rd in total defense, allowing an average of 345.2 yards per game. They ranked 22nd in pass defense, 15th in run defense, and allowed nearly 25 points per game, which was 23rd in the league. Those numbers aren't where they need to be, especially for a team with playoff aspirations. Before drafting Ulbrich, the Falcons interviewed several other candidates, including big names like Lou Anarumo, Don Wink Martindale, and Matt Eberflus. While each has their merits, it's clear the team believes Ulbrich's familiarity with the organization and proven defensive mind make him the right choice to lead this unit into a new era. So what does this mean for the Falcons? First, expect a more disciplined and physical defense. Ulbrich's focus on fundamentals like tackling and gap control could help alleviate some of the leaks we saw last season. Second, expect him to lean on the team's young talent while also advocating for key additions in free agency or the draft to fit his defensive vision. All right, Falcons fans, it's your turn. What do you think of the Jeff Ulbrich signing? Do you think he's the right man to turn this defense around? We're looking ahead to the 2025 offseason, and the Falcons have some tough decisions to make. With limited cap space and a defense in desperate need of help, Atlanta's front office has a few potential moves on the table that could shake things up. Today, we're talking about 3 moves the Falcons could consider to add valuable draft picks and position themselves for a stronger future. Let's break it down. First, trade Kirk Cousins. Now, before you start typing out the comments, let's be realistic. Cousins has a no-trade clause, which means he has to approve any deal the Falcons try to make. That's a big hurdle. But if a team is willing to give him a chance as a starter, that could be enough to convince him. The bigger question is whether another team is willing to take on his contract and part with even a late-round pick. If Atlanta can do that, it would free up cap space and potentially secure a day 3 pick, nothing flashy, but a step in the right direction. It's not just about moving Cousins, though. Trading him would help the Falcons create flexibility to address other areas of need. And let's be real, Cousins' recent performances this season haven't exactly set the league on fire. Moving him would be a win, even if the return isn't overwhelming. Next, let's talk about a move that will generate some serious debate, trading Kyle Pitts. Yes, you heard that right. There have been rumors already this offseason about the team potentially moving on from Pitts, and it's not hard to see why. His talent is undeniable, but his presence on the field has been underwhelming. He's often looked disengaged, and his production hasn't lived up to the hype. Here's the thing, the Falcons could survive, maybe even thrive, without him. Atlanta still has an elite group of weapons in Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Darnell Mooney. Add in solid contributions from Tyler Allgeier and Ray McLeod, and the offense could remain productive without Pitts. Trading him could provide much-needed draft capital to rebuild a defense that has been, let's be honest, a mess. It's not an easy decision, but it's one the Falcons front office has to consider. Finally, there's the idea of trading down in the draft. Atlanta holds the 15th overall pick, which puts them in a bit of a tough spot. This year's draft class is deep but lacking in top-tier quarterback prospects, which could make the mid-first round a prime spot for teams looking to move up. If the Falcons can trade down and stockpile picks, it could set them up to address several areas of need. But here's the rub. If a top pass rushing prospect is still on the board at number 15, the Falcons may need to sit tight. Atlanta's pass rush has been one of the worst in the league, and fixing it has to be a priority. The team has traded its last 3 first-round picks, all on offense. Now it's time to prove that they can find impactful defensive talent. Trading down might be the smart move, but only if the right player isn't available. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should the team move on from Kirk Cousins? Would you be willing to trade Kyle Pitts to rebuild the defense? What about trading down in the draft? Does it make sense, or should they stick with the 15th pick? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Coming off an absolutely stellar 2024 season, Bijan was one of the few consistent sparks in a tough year for the Falcons. Even when the offense struggled, especially during Kirk Cousins' final few starts, Bijan found ways to turn broken plays into highlight reel moments. The guy is electric, and he's just getting started. Now, Bijan's season may not have gotten the national attention it deserved, overshadowed by the likes of Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, but he made no mistake, his impact was game-changing. The 2024 season proved one thing: the running back position is not dead. Far from it. Players like Saquon, Derrick, Josh Jacobs, and even Detroit's dynamic duo have completely reshaped the way teams view running backs. These guys haven't just contributed, they've carried offenses and led their teams to playoff berths. Bijan is clearly paying attention to this shift, and the Falcons should, too. He recently gave a shout-out to Saquon Barkley after his incredible playoff performance with the Eagles. While the message was supportive, it also came with an unspoken reality: the running back market is heating up. Teams are realizing what star backs can do, not just as runners, but as all-around offensive weapons. And you can bet Bijan and his camp are aware of how that could impact his value down the road. Here's the thing: the Falcons have some breathing room, but the clock is ticking. Bijan is entering the 3rd year of his rookie contract, meaning Atlanta still has at least 3 years of team control. That's great news for now, but it's also a double-edged sword. Do you try to lock him in with an extension early, or do you risk waiting and letting the market explode even further? Bijan may decide to wait, betting on himself and the continued rise in the running back's value. If guys like Saquon and Derrick continue to raise the bar, Bijan could command a huge payday when the time comes. And let's not forget, he's not the only player Atlanta will need to pay. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Michael Penix Jr. are all in line for back-to-back extensions. That's a lot of talent to keep under one roof. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should the team start working on a deal with Bijan now, or wait to see how the market evolves? And how do you feel about the resurgence of the running back position in the league? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Before you go, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support means everything, and we have plenty more Falcons news and insights coming your way. Go Falcons!